Well, the truce which was there between the opposition parties and the BJP and the government, of course, as far as the Operation Sindoor was going on, that truce certainly has ended. But there are some jarring notes for the opposition parties. Unexpected quarters have come out in full support and praise for the way the government carried out these operations along with the armed forces. And there were two interesting takes which have come in. One, of course, from Mr. Shashi Tharoor, who, in any case, of late has been speaking a line which many in the Congress party may have been uncomfortable with, but is certainly sweet music as far as the BJP is concerned. Interestingly, at a time when the Congress immediately after the understanding or agreement was announced between India and Pakistan to stall all operations, started coming out with several social media posts, and the Congress leaders like Pawan Khera started putting out pictures of Indira Gandhi, making a comparison between 1971 war and 2025. The point that they tried to make was that Indira Gandhi had actually given that karara jawab to Pakistan, forced them on the table to sign that treaty. In stark contrast, what the Congress is saying that one, America mediated and why should they? And the second important is that why was it that India is not coming across as looking much stronger and aggressive on this issue. But that politics aside, what is noteworthy were the statements which came in from both Mr. Tharoor and also interestingly from the former Home Minister Chidambaram. In a detailed letter or a post, an article that he has written, he actually praised the government for its stoic and matured handling of the situation. He said that things were such, both of them are nuclear powers, which is Pakistan as well as India. People in the world are tired of wars, and also it's not like, say, Israel versus Hamas, Russia versus Ukraine. In this case, there are two nuclear powers who are fighting against each other, and therefore this war could not have been stretched. He also praised the kind of press conferences which were done both by the MEA as well as from the armed forces, where we had Vyomika Singh as well as Qureshi being there as a part of the press conference, and the sheer optics of it all is something which was praised by Mr. Chidambaram. He said that the only jarring note was the absence of the Prime Minister from the all-party meeting. But what is very interesting is that a very clear divide within the opposition. On one hand, opposition leaders have started to demand an all-party meeting as well as a special session of the parliament. They also want to know the nitty-gritty of the operations, how many people, how many of our own people may have been injured, and what was the background story to this agreement. And they said that this is only possible if the Prime Minister himself attends the all-party meeting as well as a special session of the parliament is called. But I think the BJP and the government, which has been going out to make the point that 1971 is very different from 2025, are also going to be using the statements of their own people of the Congress, whether it's Mr. Tharoor or whether it is P. Chidambaram, who is also an internal security expert in the sense of having been the former Home Minister, to make the point that when these leaders are praising the government, when these leaders understand why 1971 is completely different from 2025, it is very important that the rest of the opposition parties stop doing the politics over it. But the nature of politics is such that it cannot be on a ceasefire for long. And as important state elections like Bihar and others coming up, where nationalism, national interest certainly is going to be yet another key issue, and the BJP, the Prime Minister, will certainly speak about it, the opposition parties will try to paint a picture that the government has completely failed, that this is not such a Rambo or a macho government as it makes itself out to be. They're going to raise the point that if the government began a war, then why did it not take it to the culmination? But Mr. Chidambaram and Tharoor's points are also very significant. They're making the larger point that no one in present times wants war. People don't want to be affected by it because their lives, the economy, everything gets affected. And therefore, according to Mr. Chidambaram, the government did what it could do its best. And that's a huge praise coming in from one of the most strongest and staunchest critic of the government.